Colorado hosting North Dakota State as a 9-point favorite. Listen, Deion and the entire conversation around the Colorado program, people can't get enough. It's a very, it's a hard conversation to have because, one, I think there's a lot of people who are not Colorado fans but are Deion fans that don't really pay attention to the entirety of college football. There's a lot of them online. It's an interesting place. Yeah, it's an interesting folks. And two, like whatever you think of Deion limiting the potential of the Colorado program because of doing things the way that he's done them, he has brought a lot of money and a lot of attention and did improve the team and did improve the roster. Even as those things are true, and there's other ways that he operates his program that make it very difficult for them to maximize their potential, i.e. some of the quick triggers on the staff stuff, in terms of building your roster and trying to recruit through high schools and not doing that as diligently as basically everyone else in the sport. But they're putting it on the field this year. And Deion was talking about he thinks his team can get to the playoff. And I would say start by beating a bowl team, which Colorado has not done yet. But they'll have some opportunities in the Big 12. There'll be a bunch of good teams, but they have a North Dakota State team that is not your father's North Dakota State team, but still that culture and the through lines of those programs, I think, are still left behind, and they've enjoyed a lot of success with a lot of different coaches. Tim Polasek takes over there. This will be his debut, but these are polar opposites. Colorado, a big reason why they did not win as many games as they wanted to last year is because their play on the lines, both lines really, was not good enough. I think they got a big upgrade on the defensive line this year. Offensive line, we'll see, I think, a small upgrade. But if you win this game, you go into Nebraska with a little bit of momentum. I think people will recognize that North Dakota State, that's a pretty good win, depending on how it plays out. You lose this game, and I think it changes a lot of the tone around the Colorado program. The vibes have been a little shaky in camp.
A little bit.
A little bit. Deion's been a little erratic at times at the mic versus it was a lot more confident, it seemed like, last year. So we will see. It's going to be interesting. I love the receiver talent. Shedeur is a really, really great talent, a fun guy to watch. This team, for better or worse, is compelling. And if they lose, it's going to be compelling. If they win, it's going to be compelling. But it really changes the conversation around this team a lot. Damien, I don't think we talked to you much about where you stand on what you've seen from Deion and his time at Colorado. What do you make of how they've operated their program, and what do you make of their opener?
Polarizing is the word that comes to mind. Incredibly polarizing. It's not just Deion, it's the way that he runs his program. And I think that it's almost tailor made for the direction and the way that college football is kind of trending. So, I would obviously see why it's so, like you said, it's so compelling to see what they're going to do. Are they going to win or they're going to lose? I think that there is so much pressure on Deion, on this Colorado team, on Shedeur, on Travis. There's so much pressure on this team to be better this year, just to simply be better. Mm-hmm. You've got guys that have been transferring out, talking about how the program is run, how it's, kind of like Grand Theft Auto in real life. I mean, there's a whirlwind of expectations around this team. I mean, they have to come out and show that they're serious. I mean, it's enough. I've heard enough of the noise. I've seen enough of the antics. I've seen enough of the videos on social media of Travis and Shedeur talking about their raps, and all of that is fine and well, but at the end of the day, you got a job to do. We got to show up and play football. So that's why I put them at number 2, because I think that Deion obviously has the most to lose. I think Shedeur, I think guys like Travis, I think, this offensive line that we're talking about, have they built them up yet? Have they improved on the offensive line? Like, are they going to finally back up all this talking that they've been doing? Because to this point, they have not. Like, you guys can tell me if you think otherwise, you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, but they have not lived up to the hype at all. And so I'm just finally, and it is compelling. And a guy like me, I want to see Deion have success. I want to see Colorado be successful. They talk about they can get to being a playoff team. Well, I would like to see that. But if you go out and drop this game on week 1, that's not going to happen. And everything else just turns into hot air all over again. And then you just got all the negative connotations. Then you just open the door and invite all the negativity that comes with it. Like, yes, it's about wins and losses. We're talking about, do you win this game or do you not? But if they come out and they lose this game, not only are people going to be talking about, yeah, they lost this game, but there's so much negativity that's going to come with it.
So I have Colorado really high, at least afford to lose, like Damien, because like they're 9.5 point favorites. it's a lot more than I think people think. And I do think Colorado's probably going to, like, I felt the whole time, like, in my mind, I'm imagining upset, but Colorado's probably going to win this game and win it going away. But the vibes in fall camp have been atrocious, like, across the board. David, you've been writing about this. You're usually not banning media in preseason camp.
Preseason is pretty funny, I will say. Yes.
It's usually after a bad loss, somebody says something, coach gets upset. Like, that happens. I get that. It's just weird distractions to happen in this. And Deion is right that when they slip, people are waiting to pounce on them. Mm-hmm. And so if you do that in week 1, Thursday, national viewership game to an FCS team with a new head coach, people are gonna pounce. And so there is a lot to lose here for Colorado in this game. If it goes the wrong way early, then can they keep everything else under control? They couldn't keep things from spiraling out of control last year. And if they start off with a bad loss, we'll see how that goes. So I think huge.
I always talk to people, college football is such a results business. And I think with Deion, when you do things that are not like everyone else, when you win, you're a visionary. And when you lose, you don't know anything about anything. You don't know how to run a program. And last year, he was a visionary for about a month. And then it was slowly transitioning back to he doesn't know how to do anything. It's a results business, and that defines who you are.